Hello and welcome to Chicken Bros. My name is David Heath.
And I'm the lethal protector.
Nice. So we have both seen Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
And having not seen the first movie, I didn't really know what to expect.
That's true. No, I did not see the first one. I have.
Because to me, and I'm probably the minority here, but without Spider-Man, what is Venom?
I would say a fair amount of people agree with you. And the only reason I gave this movie a shot was because I wouldn't write off any movie without having seen it first. And thing is that like I think the reason this movie appealed to me was because Venom and Eddie Brock have a pretty interesting dynamic in the movie, and
Yeah,
that's one of, kind of what kept me watching it.
really that was one of the weakest points in the movie for me. I
Well,
hated their.
no. I'm talking about the first one, bro.
Oh well,
In this movie, you're right. Their dynamic's kind of weak in this movie. This movie is very much the setup for Cletus Cassidy.
who honestly, okay, they had a preview of him in the last movie. I know that. I know they had like
Yeah, and
after credits.
they gave him a freaking sideshow bob wig.
And yeah, I was like, no, what the hell? This is not Cletus Cassidy.
No, but I think they fixed it in the movie.
Yeah. He looks better.
Yeah, and Woody Harrelson does a good job, all things considered.
I was kind of surprised because the only thing I'd ever seen him in was either Guardians of the Galaxy and Zombieland.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wasn't he Yondo?
No, that's Michael Rooker.
Oh,
But
well then.
you know what's funny though is they've been confused for each other before.
Okay, then just Zombieland then.
Yeah. Um. Trying to remember how this movie began because I only saw it once.
Same.
How did this movie? Oh, that's right. It sets up the years many years long relationship between Cletus Cassidy and I can't remember her actual name, but she is Shriek.
It's
Yeah, see, I can't remember it either. But she becomes Shriek.
yeah, which
Yeah.
I thought was a symbiote name, but
No.
apparently I was wrongo.
And
Wrongo.
I gotta give them props for doing that because like that proves they read a comic because
Yeah,
they did
also
have a thing in the comics.
Also, the cop who shoots her, Patrick Mulligan, is the eventual host for the spawn of Carnage, Toxin.
Yeah.
Just something I found interesting when I saw the beginning.
Oh, now I remember. Okay, so yeah, Eddie Brock, having interviewed Cletus Cassidy a few times, eventually, like with the help of Venom, finds all the places of his victims, Cletus Cassidy's victims, and with this, they now. I'm not sure why they needed the evidence of where his victims were in order to execute the guy, but now they can.
I don't know. I don't even know if that's accurate to the death penalty in California, or even if we have the death penalty still out here.
I don't know.
It's a comic book, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, that happens, and then the last time Eddie and Cletus meet, Cletus starts going off about Eddie's childhood. Saying, I don't know how he knows all this, by the way, but he starts like hitting a raw nerve in Eddie, and then Venom retaliates by grabbing him and pulling him to the bar, and Cletus bites Eddie's hand, and he thinks he draws blood, but when he tastes it, he's like, I've tasted blood before, and that is not it. Only a demented psychopath can say that.
Shit, you're kidding.
And, oof, me and Noah knows what that means. Like,
Yep.
that wasn't blood. That was a piece of the symbiote, and now that it's in him,
Mm-hmm.
so they attempt to execute Cletus Cassidy, and
Using the lethal injection method, which, still think is kind of a really inhumane way to kill somebody, but whatever.
I mean, is there a humane way to kill a person?
I don't think so.
So they try to execute him, and it fails horribly because as soon as they try to inject it, his blood unleashes Carnage.
Yep.
And he kills just about everything in his path.
Yep. And honestly, Carnage looked pretty good. Like
Yeah.
I'll give them this. He looked pretty good. I was expecting him to look completely ridiculous, but no, he looked pretty good.
Yeah, Carnage looks pretty threatening. And, freaking, this is one of the points of the movies I didn't like was that, okay, I get, like, in the comics, yes, Venom and Eddie kind of banter at each other as if they were a couple. But in this movie, they actually do act like a couple. Like,
Well, in more recent comics, they actually have a kid together somehow. So.
well, yeah, but that's not what I mean. I just mean, like, the fights they have are very much, like, really unbalanced boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, and then they split.
Yeah, I love when they split. Venom tears up Eddie's motorcycle and then flips him off.
Yep.
And then Eddie keeps going to different hosts, but like unlike Eddie, they're not a match for him, so they die after a while.
Yep.
And a symbiote needs a host to live, so he's got to keep going from one to the next. And Eddie's trying to figure out more about Cletus because he broke out.
Yep.
And
Patrick Mulligan's like, "Are you sure you don't know anything about this? You know how this happened?"
Yeah. Can't tell him. And Cletus goes to break out his girlfriend Shriek from the prison she was being held in. I think, wasn't that Ravencroft she was in?
Yep.
Yep. Good old Spidey reference. And
Kind of wasted in a movie that doesn't have Spidey in it, but whatever.
when they break out, of course, cops, everybody comes trying to stop them. And then when
Shriek has like sonic screams.
Yeah.
Fucks with the symbiote, and the symbiote goes, "She does that again, I'll rip her face off."
Yeah. Which I'm surprised that never occurred to me, having seen Carnage and Shriek interact in the comics. That never occurred to me. Like, as soon as I saw that in the movie, I was like, oh yeah, shit.
Well, every couple has their problems.
That's true. I mean, look at Eddie and Venom.
Mm-hmm.
I also love when Anne and Dan try to look for Venom, and when they go to see Mrs. Chen. That was freaky when the Venom eyes and teeth popped out, though. That was
weird.
That was weird. Yeah. And then, like, Anne tried seducing Venom to come back, and Dan's like, "I'm right here, you know."
And she's like, "Shut up, dude."
And yeah. Then Eddie meets up with Venom again. He makes him apologize for all the mean things he said. And then I think, what was, like, okay, so I think Shriek kidnaps Anne, and then
and Patrick.
Yeah, I'm Patrick.
Because the three things that they want before their wedding. They want Patrick because he shot at Screech.
Right.
Which is why she has a pretty cool looking fake eye.
Yeah.
They want Anne because they want Eddie, and they want the symbiote, and the Carnage symbiote wants the Venom symbiote.
Yeah. I also kind of like how the Carnage symbiote still referred to Venom as, like, father.
Yeah. "Time to die, father." "Oh God, please no." "Not you, father. Him, father."
That was funny.
Oh shit!
Like, "Oh shit! This was worse than we thought. That is a red one.
A red one.
I'll let you eat everybody. Promise? I promise. Oh yeah!" And then big fight.
Big fight. That honestly got pretty intense. Like,
yeah. I was worried that they were gonna pull, because remember that bit when Venom's lowering Anne down the bell tower?
I was like, oh shit, are they gonna go and Stacy this bitch?
Yeah, me too. But they don't kill her. And actually, Dan was able to put some fire on Carnage, which was pretty slick. Way to go, Dan. And then, of course, Shriek using her powers pisses off Carnage. And I agree with you, Noah, this is something I didn't really understand why they did this, but, like, Carnage and Cletus are not, like, they don't bond well.
They are in symbiosis, which is weird, because in the comics, that's exactly what they were.
Yeah, but precisely the reason why Carnage refers to himself as I.
Yeah, instead of Venom and Eddie referring to themselves as we.
Yeah, which is what usually happens with a symbiote. And, you know, fight happens, Carnage and Cletus get separated. This was a little weird to me, but I was like, okay. Venom eats the Carnage symbiote? I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know. I mean, that probably doesn't mean the Carnage symbiote is probably gonna come back in some way because
Well, if it does,
I
it's
don't
gonna
know.
have to find a new host, cause
Yeah. All I wanted was a friend. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cletus. Fuck this guy! Shut up.
he did not taste good.
No, he said that about the Carnage symbiote. I don't know if he said that about Cletus.
I can't remember. I know it was in that scene though,
Yeah.
and
Fuck this guy! Shut up.
something happened with Patrick Mulligan near the end there.
Yeah. Monsters everywhere. And his eyes glow bluish, which is weird because I'm pretty sure the Toxin doesn't have blue eyes.
I don't know. I don't know if that
Toxin
was what
has
that was
eye, 'cause
referencing.
most symbiotes don't do that. Most symbiotes have like the big white eyes.
I don't know. I don't know if that was what that was supposed to signify. But I doubt
All
I doubt we'll see him again.
Yeah, I don't know if this movie did well enough.
I don't know. But then again, like a couple, Venom and Eddie go on like a honeymoon on the island.
Yep. They go into Mexico, and all I could think of was that stupid song. I got my toes in the water, ass in the sand.
Oh, I've heard that song before.
Adios and bye con Dios.
I gotta look that up later. I gotta hear that song again because I
It's
remember.
Toes. I don't buy Zach.
Don't worry,
Zach
I'll find
Brown?
it. But the thing about this movie, like, because two things about this movie stuck out for me personally: Carnage, because it was actually really well done.
I loved every scene with him in it. Though I wish he was actually bonded with the symbiote. Like,
Yeah, I wish they'd have done
more. I want more of actual Carnage tearing shit up, and not just
that. Yeah, this movie should have
Woody
been rated
Harrelson.
R.
Yeah, not just Woody Harrelson with the tentacles. I want fucking Carnage ripping shit
Yeah,
up.
like Carnage bites people's head off, but like you don't see it. It's like, oh no, he PG-13'd him to death.
Yep.
But the second thing about this movie that stuck out for me was the end credit scene, which is, when a movie's highlight is the end credit scene, it's not a good sign. But for the most part, this movie was okay. But the end credit scene, dude, whoa!
I honestly don't know what that means for the future of the MCU.
I don't either,
it's
because
the
like,
MCU.
so let's explain for the people. Eddie is
For the people.
is like in a motel. It looks like a motel or something.
A crappy ass roach motel.
Yeah, and
I mean, they're in Mexico, so it makes sense.
Venom's like, I will only give you a fraction of what we symbiotes have experienced over the past billion years. He's like, okay, and then you hear a noise which you think is like him transferring his information, but then the whole room starts going wonky. Like everything changes around him. Even the time of day changes.
And you see
Looks
like a
very
yellow flash outside.
looks very Spider-Verse-y, doesn't it, Noah?
Yeah.
And then Eddie was like, what did you do? Venom's like, that wasn't me. And then he looks at the TV that they were just watching a Spanish soap opera on, and instead it's the newscast from the end of Far From Home when Jameson was revealing Spider-Man's identity. And then it shows Tom Holland's Spider-Man, like actually Tom Holland, maskless in the suit, and Venom goes, that guy, and then licks the screen, and I was like, oh shit!
Now, when I first saw this, I was like, okay, but Venom isn't exactly a bad guy in this movie world, so what's his deal? Like.
Well, remember, Venom's not really a bad guy, period. He is just a bad guy to Spider-Man in the comics because...
Well, yeah, but in the comics, sure, but that's because Eddie hates...
Hold on, I'm going somewhere with this. Because Eddie hates Peter Parker or Spider-Man because he ruined his life. But in this movie, you can assume that this end credit scene says that he just got drugged into the MCU. Right. And if you remember that newscast, Noah, Peter Parker got framed for murder. So
yeah, that's
what if Venom sees that and thinks, oh, this guy needs to die?
That's what I was going to say. I said, at first, I didn't understand why Venom is going to go after Spider-Man, but then I thought about it, and I was like, oh, he thinks Spider-Man's evil. He thinks that Spider-Man is not one of the innocents.
Right.
Now, I'm like, okay, so that better get resolved before the end of the movie or before either of them die.
Right. And it makes me wonder, too, because, like, I've heard people say that Sony might continue Tom Holland's arc without Marvel, which, as long as No Way Home's good, I don't care what they do. But if they make Venom meet Tom Holland's Spider-Man, then I kind of want to see that. Because I'm curious to see what what a good fight between Spider-Man and Venom will look like on screen.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Topher Grace. But
What the hell?
Yeah, what the hell? Overall, this movie is,
I honestly didn't like it, except for the Carnage bits.
Yeah, and I liked pieces of it. Like, I would recommend this to anybody who's like a casual comic book movie fan, but if you're a diehard, I would recommend it.
Honestly, all this movie made me want to do was read some Toxin comics, just because I want to know the origin of that character.
What this movie made me do was, I don't know, I guess just geek out over Carnage, because it was really well done in this movie.
True.
So I will give this movie a 6.5 out of 10.
I give it a 2. I really did not like it, except for the Carnage bits.
And that was our review of Venom, Let There Be Carnage. We will see you guys next time.
Let there be Carnage!